Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ant.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 83 of the Hollywood Persona. My name is Mitch, and as always, I'm here with my friend Ant and his ever-changing location and backgrounds. How are you today, buddy?
What's up, Mitch? Oh man, I'm great. I'm so glad we can finally talk about the Oscars in a formal setting besides
Yes.
little text back and forth.
Our post-Oscars rundown, we're going to talk about those for a little bit and get each other's thoughts because we haven't really talked about them because we knew we were going to talk about them here. And we also are going to reveal how each of us did on our Oscar predictions. Neither of us know what the other person got. So I am excited to hear. Do you want to tell everyone what app we used and where you came across that? Or was
Yeah, good call. So the app is called Award Expert, and it's actually developed and made by these YouTube guys I follow, and I think it was really smart of them to do to like parlay their YouTube channel into something else. And you've probably seen them. They're called the Awards Expert. It's two twin brothers, and they go to the festivals and on and on and on. Anyway, it's called the Award Expert. It very easily makes cataloging your picks and seeing what others are choosing, what the big names in this field choose. It's a great tracking app.
Yeah, I saved it for the last minute because I was so busy and I wasn't able to put my picks anywhere. And so I just hopped on the app like a few hours before and went through my picks. And what's awesome is that you could do your picks in order of like who you think is going to win, and then second, third, fourth, fifth. So like I had Demi Moore first, and then Mikey Madison, and then I like ordered them and who I think would win, which was really cool. It doesn't get you any extra points if you know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
Yeah, it's just cool to have it in that way, and you can look. I don't know. It's a really good app. It really helped. So that was exciting.
It's like very bare bones and basic. There's no ads in it. It's just like simple and straightforward, and it's free.
Yeah.
The Awards Expert.
So let us get in. I'll jump in here and say, I guess we're probably both really excited that Anora went home with 5 Oscars.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah. What were you expecting for Best Picture? Brutalist or?
I was expecting Anora since Emilia Perez cratered.
Okay.
So
yeah.
That was right along with what I thought.
Good.
But I wasn't sure, certain about director and and Mikey.
Mikey, yeah.
Did me.
Yeah. So Mikey Madison obviously was the big upset, quote unquote. There's now like that's probably been the biggest conversation since the Oscars have ended. A lot of people predicted Demi Moore, and a lot of people. There's been a lot of argument back and forth, between it's career achievement Oscar or new and exciting Oscar, right? And it went to the new and exciting, which is basically the whole plot to The Substance. So people have pointed that out as well. So.
But I'm totally fine with it. Being nominated is an honor to begin with. And this movie being nominated is insane to begin with anyway. So just the fact that she's here, that The Substance was even here. Remember when it came out and we were like, oh, this will never make it as an Oscar. They just don't vote for this kind of stuff.
No.
So just for it to be there is cool enough.
It's just an honor to be nominated. But I mean, like there's, and I think I'm still here. Like it only got foreign film. A lot of people were rooting for Fernando Torres. I think I put Brady Corbett as best director because I thought that's who would get it. I'm glad Sean Baker got it. Um, and what do you think about Adrian Brody's longest speech in Oscars history?
I mean, it makes him look bad.
It does.
It
I'm
just
not.
does.
Some people are on the already like let's cancel him, we hate him kind of thing.
I know
because of what he said to the music, like stop the music kind of thing. Like he was very brusque, but he wasn't rude.
And I think it's known that that's how he is, and like he's one of those kind of jerk actors that thinks he's the shit, and like. Yeah, and I'm sure you know this. He stopped the orchestra the first time he won. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in 2001 when he got his first Oscar, and he was the youngest person to ever win one.
Oh,
he halted the orchestra for back then.
And I was very happy at the beginning to hear him discuss how like he has felt and realized how this job can all go away, because that is kind of what happened to him. He like was virtually had barely been in anything for like 10 years. Like he did King Kong back in the day, and then like you barely saw him after that. Who's the person who yelled bingo when they got their award? I don't remember that, but maybe Ant does.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. I will never cringe harder than the woman that won for Emilia Perez. She won Best Song, I think, and she started singing.
Oh yeah.
She started singing Emilia, like it was like so awkward.
Yeah. Yep.
What else? Anything else that you can think of?
I liked the show a lot. I thought it.
Me too.
Better one we've had. Conan was a great host. Mm-hmm. I liked the "I'm not going to waste your time" bit. I loved him coming out of Demi Moore's back substance for the entrance. That was fantastic. And his jokes were not as soft as Jimmy Kimmel's, but they weren't like overly offensive.
Yeah, like some people online, I saw like some people the next day saying, "Oh, his jokes were old and tired," and I was like, I laughed at everything. I thought he was like really great. Like he's not too offensive. He's not, he's
not Ricky Gervais. He just kind of rides the middle.
He's self-deprecating. He'll poke fun at himself, and everybody just likes him. He's a likable guy, so you kind of just root for him.
Yeah, yep, that was good. The James Bond segment was strange, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't. When it started playing, I thought, well, wait, what the hell is this for? But as they rolled through the songs, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. Except, why not have Adele sing Skyfall? Come on.
Like that girl who did Skyfall, she did a good job, but it took me about 30 seconds for me to say, okay, this is good, because you can't have Adele not do Skyfall. And I mean, like they did Live and Let Die. That's McCartney, right? So McCartney's still alive. Adele's still alive. And Sam Smith is the other person who did this song. I'm like, why not bring those three people back and instead of having, it sound like a karaoke cover by three people who are doing a really good job. But but it's cool seeing Margaret Qualley up there. She's just proving that she's like the hottest thing in Hollywood. Literally. Dune only walked away with two.
I was fine. I was happy. I was cheering.
Yeah.
Go
Dune. The conversation I've seen is if Dune had come out later, like October, like September, October, it would have swept the night.
I feel pretty strongly about that too.
Yeah. And I remember walking out of it and I'm like, oh man, this should be like Return of the King did, like, 13 Oscars or something. And, it was more depressing seeing it all and seeing it just not. And well, it was more depressing when we saw Villeneuve not even get a Oscar nomination. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that was about it. I thought there was one more thing. Flo winning Best
I was just gonna
Animated.
say that was a big surprise.
And I mean, I liked Wild Robot. I think obviously more than you did, but I think Flo winning, I'm very, very happy about that. Like,
Me too. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, Kieran, Demi, Brody, and who else won the Mikey, obviously. Mikey Mouse.
Oh, the big four, yeah.
Yeah, the big four. And yeah. So I don't think I had
Kieran's speech was a little weird, but all his speeches have been weird.
He is a awkward man.
Odd duck.
But people love him. He's a lot like his character in that movie almost, right?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
I don't think as abrasive and rude in real life, but like
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't know if I was picking the awards, I don't know if I would have. It would be a lot different. But anyways, why don't you just tell us, since you're the only one who's seen some new movies, why don't you just run through what you've seen and like some brief thoughts on
all right, yeah, sure. So this is kind of the slowdown period before we get to summer again for movies. January usually is, and then especially now. There was a new movie in theaters that had a pretty cool cast called Riff Raff. It has Pete Davidson, Bill Murray, Jennifer Coolidge, Ed Harris, Gabrielle Union, and Lewis Pullman. But it just was very forgettable. Felt like a streaming movie. Did not need to be in theaters. It's called Riff Raff. Yeah, if you see it on streaming, check it out. It's a fun kind of mob movie. There's some pretty great, shocking murders in it, where like someone pulls out a gun and kills someone unexpectedly. I saw the movie Last Breath, which is also in theaters. That's that Woody Harrelson based on a true story of a diver, that goes down near the oil pipeline. It has Simu Liu, I think is how you say his name, from Shang-Chi.
I almost said Shazam.
And it's also good, but not amazing. Like, it's totally fine, worth a streaming watch. It's actually unbelievable how long he went without oxygen, to where I went and looked it up, and I still don't believe it. It can't be right.
Okay.
I guess I can say what it is, because it's a true story. He
No, don't. No. I just, because someone they went around it on another podcast.
Okay.
And somebody else said like it was a really tense, like there was two people on another podcast that said,
right. I guess if you know.
Yeah, I don't know much, so I'm just kind of they said that like it's the most intense movie they've ever, like they've never been more tense.
I would say I was very tense. The filmmaking was tense, and other people I've talked to that have seen it have come out and talked to me about it. Same thing. Like, they did a great job making tension there. And then, I will just say, when you see the movie and find out what really actually happened, it blow your mind. It's just like,
okay,
how is that possible? How is that possible? It's just not possible. Something else.
Because I think I heard they set the world record of on, not on this movie, but on the latest Avatar movie that came out, The Way of Water. I heard the record was set by someone there, but I could be wrong.
Well, in this case, like, we're talking about, if you beat the record, you could die, right? So like,
yeah,
they can't test this again. Like, they're not gonna, send someone down there and say, we'll see if you come up to beat the record.
Were the effects good?
They're okay. There was a few pieces where you could tell it's budget, but no, it was a good watch. It's definitely a 3-star positive review movie.
Okay.
and that's Last Breath.
Yeah, I want to see that. Dad wants to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good movie to go with parents, relatives, kids, co-workers, even.
Yeah.
And then, did I talk about Cleaner, the Daisy Ridley movie?
No, we talked about her having her career and how it's been crappy.
Yeah, so this is another, like, file this in line with the last two I just said. It's got its moments. It's kind of fun. It's a Die Hard clone, right?
Yeah.
Some terrorists take over this building. She's the window cleaner. She has former military background. Her brother is inside. And of course, he's special needs or autistic in some way. So, yeah, there is a great cameo, or not cameo. He has a part in the movie that I was not expecting to see. Clive Owen.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking it up on IMDb. I like him. I wish he was in more.
Me too. And more shocking is how he's used in the movie. I'm like, you see him, and I'm like, oh, cool, Clive Owen. I love this guy. And then not much time goes by, and you're like, what? Oh, he's gone? Wait, where'd he go? So, yeah, that's Cleaner. It's not going to help Daisy Ridley's career, but the movie's worthwhile.
Yeah, that's too bad. I hope she gets something bigger or better.
To back up to the Oscars, though, I'm fearful that Mikey Madison's career will do the same that lots of Oscar winners happen. They get their Oscar, and then we just don't see them, or they peter out.
Yeah. Mikey, yeah. No, I think it was, I can't remember. But
there's so many. Halle Berry. I mean, even look at Adrian Brody, like we just said a second ago.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to say this earlier. I was mistaken. You have not talked about The Monkey on the podcast because it came out February 21st. That was the day after the podcast was released. So I think you were going that night.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. You were telling me how much of a comedy it is. So
we can wait till you see it so that we can do a full review, because I'd like to. I'm sure you'll like to.
Yes, I can't wait.
One of the downsides of me not watching trailers is that I don't get expectations set. So I didn't know that this was going to be a comedy or a dark comedy. I assumed it was just going to be more like Longlegs, which we just got from this director. And it's really not. It's a dark comedy. It's not as dark as, say, Terrifier, but it's kind of almost going for that level of like, aren't these kills hilarious?
But I have to say that I did see the trailers, and I wouldn't have thought it was a comedy in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Maybe I would have like a dark comedy, but like the way the guys on the Film Vault were talking, the Film Vault podcast, they were talking like, oh, this is almost pure this is mostly comedy, and quite a difference from Longlegs.
Yes, very, very, very different, but it's still fun enough. I still had a good time and give it a positive review.
Good.
I think the lead was miscast, Theo James.
Yeah,
we know him from Divergent, those Divergent movies, right? And he's a totally fine actor, but he's so damn good looking. And one of the characters he plays in here is supposed to be this like frumpy, nerdy guy who works at a gas station. And I'm like, they put glasses on him. I'm like, come on.
Oh, before we move on, yes, I hate that trope, but I've been meaning to text you, and I'll do it on here because it's. So I was watching Spider-Man No Way Home with my kids because they hadn't seen it yet, and we're moving through the MCU. And he's brushing his teeth at one point, and it's a completely empty toothbrush. Well, you have me noticing that now in movies, like that they aren't using toothpaste. So my question is, have you seen a movie? Oh, who's that boy or girl?
That's the dog I'm watching over here.
What's her name?
That is Queso.
Oh, Queso. Sorry. Have you noticed a movie where they did use toothpaste, where they saw someone using toothpaste, and you like were so thankful?
Because I know I've seen it, but I'm gonna have to get back to you.
Okay, I didn't know I didn't know if one would pop into your head because I'm like, since this is a pet peeve, I notice when I would now notice when movies do it right. Like I can tell now when somebody has coffee in the mug and not just, hey, I'm drinking coffee, like.
Yep.
So I apologize.
Yeah.
Continue with the monkey. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. The toothpaste thing is so annoying
Mhm.
because just put a little bit on there.
Dry mouth, and he's just doing this, and he pulls it out. There's like nothing. Like he's got nothing to spit. Nothing. Oh
So
man.
dumb. So Theo James isn't but the best cast here. He's fine, but they could have done better.
He's very handsome. He's a very handsome man.
He's way too handsome, and they try and like put a mullet on one of the characters, one of his characters, and he just looks goofy. But yeah, it's good. It's full of atmosphere. Uh-oh.
Sorry. Animals are ruining our show tonight.
I know, right? No, it's extremely well directed, and I'm very much looking forward to what else he's going to do.
Yeah.
Because it looks great. Even the monkey prop is great, the way it's shot. They don't bother you with all the backstory of how he got this power and how it all works. It's just, we're moving right along. So yeah, it's good. I didn't love it, but it's definitely worth seeing. That's the monkey.
So let me ask you a couple questions. I heard it is similar in some ways to like the Final Destination series.
Very similar to Final Destination. Happy Death Day. It's a little more dark. More dark than Happy Death Day.
I heard it's also like not really scary, like because
I don't think there's any jump scares.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was gonna say is that there are plot holes, but it doesn't bother you because the movie moves along so well. And I think maybe like it doesn't answer everything, like you were saying, like with why he has powers or something, but you kind of accept it. That's what I heard, anyways.
Yeah, I think if you like this a lot, then that will be your experience. Some of them did bother me, which is why it brought it down a bit.
Okay. What was your rating?
I give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see this one. Based on a Stephen King novel, produced by James Wan and directed by Osgood Perkins, like who Ant said did Longlegs from last year. And I heard that Osgood has another movie coming out this year.
Yeah, I think so.
So, and yeah, so that's really cool. And before I forget, let's just remind everyone that Bong Joon-ho's latest release, the director of Parasite, comes out this weekend. So tomorrow, as we record this, that stars Robert Pattinson. I have seen the trailer once in the theater. Have you?
It's been hard to avoid. That they've been playing this one a lot. I've seen like bits and pieces.
Okay.
So it looks plays a clone that keeps being rebirthed.
It looks interesting. I'm excited.
I'm excited for it. I'm really excited. I was, watching for the reviews, and the reviews have been great. So I can't wait to see it.
Was there anything else you saw? Like, I guess you had already caught up with most Oscar stuff before.
Right. So no, I was going to say before that was just, I finally got to I'm Still Here, and we talked about Hard Eyes. So no, let's talk catch up for you, and I will jump in with the stuff you've seen.
Okay, well, before we jump into mine, why don't we reveal our how well we did? I gotta pull it up because I screenshot it. Academy Award winners 2025. Where? Yeah.
So I got 16 out of 23.
Oh, out of 23?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 18 out of 23.
Nice.
So where did you mess up?
So the shorts, I didn't get a single short. The shorts always are a crapshoot, like a real crapshoot.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. What'd you pick?
Sorry, I got all the shorts wrong as well. I went with the ones that I liked the best as number one, just because they are a crapshoot, and I was way off. So, The Only Girl in the Orchestra, The Shadow in the Cypress, and I Am Not a Robot are the three shorts that won. I did not pick any of those.
I liked Yuck, the French one.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked Alien or Aileen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Ready Warden. And it's funny. Did you see the Shadow of the Cypress, the short animated?
I did, and I'm gonna talk about it here in a minute, just kind of briefly, as long as one of the other ones you brought, as well as one of the other ones you brought up. The other one I got wrong was cinematography. I said Dune, and it went to Brutalist, and then obviously I got actress wrong with I picked Demi. It went to Mikey, and that's it.
Yeah, I got editing wrong. I picked Enclave.
Okay.
Instead of Anora. And animated, I thought Wild Robot instead of Flow.
Yeah. Well, I won.
You did.
Sucks to suck.
Maybe
one day you'll watch The Labyrinth for me like I asked you to.
I know, right? And then you'll watch
The Order. What? No,
The Order.
The Order. Was that? No, it was a different one you wanted me to watch. A while ago you liked something Order, the New Order, or
New Order.
New Order. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's now a movie called The Order.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was thinking
the
that
one I want you to watch is New Order, but they're both good.
Okay, I will watch both. They're on my watch list. So, In the Shadow of the Cypress is a short movie, and if anyone out there knows what this movie is 100% about,
thank you.
I would love to hear from you. And I personally don't, because there are so many allegories in here and stuff going on that you can't pick one. It's obviously about some sort of abuse and then how it carries on through, your childhood, and then you carry it on to you being a parent. I honestly didn't even know. I thought that was his wife.
I did too.
And then on the Film Vault today, Brian said it was his daughter. But I don't get how that could.
I thought it was his wife.
Anyways, this is a short movie.
I hated it.
I really didn't like it either. I said I gave it 2.5 stars. If somebody could explain it to me, because it's nice to look at. Like, this whale comes up on shore, and there's this abusive man. He goes out to the middle of the ocean. He is just angry, and his wife or girlfriend or whatever, she is trying to save the whale, and he tries to save it for a bit.
Yeah, he tries with the motor.
And then he doesn't care, so then he just leaves and fucks off somewhere else, and then
to smoke or something.
It's so weird, and it's kind of just a piss off, and I feel like people voted for it just because they're like, they wanted to pretend they knew what was going on.
When they announced that this one won, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Me too.
Yeah, I hate it. I really did not like it.
I gave one of these shorts 5 stars, or 4.5, sorry, and that is Aileen. This apparently is how it's pronounced, but it looks like Alien. This is the most intense 15 minutes of screen time I have ever fucking seen in my entire life. From the very first moment.
This is why why I make a point to see the shorts. Continue.
Yes. No, I think everybody should see this. I think it is on Vimeo. It is called like A-Lien. There's a space in between the A and the L. And right from the beginning, they're late for the airport. Well, or I think they're late for the airport, but it's not the airport. So my anxiety is up here. And then you realize they're actually going to get her husband, who is from, I can't remember. It might be Syria, but somewhere. But he's actually not from there. He's basically lived in the U.S. his whole life. So they're going to get him official status. And there's kind of a twist there that I didn't know. It makes me hate ICE even more, because they are tricking people in this movie, and I don't want to give away how they do that, but this is the most intense, frightening, stressful, scary, upsetting documentary, and it's really well done. Really well done.
Yeah.
So
very well done. Liked it a lot. and
Yeah.
it's effective. It's really
Very effective. Oh my gosh, when he's holding the daughter and they're in the halls, my heart could have just exploded. I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And I liked Yuck. I did like Yuck. There's a lot of cute little messages in there I actually
Yeah,
wasn't
it's really
expecting.
sweet.
It is. I thought it was just going to be like the way it was explained, it's just going to be kids going like ew, but there was these other messages that I was like, oh wow, that is deeper than I thought it would be. Wander to Wonder. What the fuck?
No idea.
Did you see that one?
I did, and I don't know why people like it.
So
People love it.
Wander. Oh, okay, yeah. So I gave it 3 stars, but it's so off-putting that like I would never watch it again. And then the one I didn't see too many of the documentary shorts, but I Am Ready Warden. I
Yeah,
think you
I saw
said that
one.
earlier was probably my favorite.
Me too.
My opinion on the death penalty is very well. I won't get into it, but it is some days I'm sure of what I think, other days I'm not. This one will really make you think about your feelings on the death penalty, and
and I think it's
yeah,
free to watch on YouTube.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of these now are pretty are you can find. So so some documentaries I watched No Other Land, the one that you already talked about, No Other Land, and I had to say I think the documentaries kind of were weak this year.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Like obviously Sugarcane was very impactful for me, as I am Canadian, and Sugarcane is about the Canada's basically most shameful secret that not all of us really knew. I didn't really know until it came out about 4 or 5 years ago that there were these residential schools that they took Indigenous people, children to, and thousands of kids died in these schools and were buried in unmarked graves. It was all through the Catholic system. So now we have a whole like holiday around, not holiday, but day of mourning, reconciliation around this.
Yep.
So it was very hard for me to watch as a Canadian to look back on one of our most shameful moments in as a country. And but still I was hoping for a little more, because you as an American, you might have heard of this, but I bet you do not know a whole ton about it.
Yeah,
Or
I
do
had
you?
heard of it. I remember when it came. I remember the news of it. Like I remember seeing it, someone
Mm-hmm.
telling a story about it, and I wasn't. I just was like, "Yep, that sounds about right." Like,
Yeah.
we just continue
Yeah.
to learn more and
And
more atrocities. You know.
yeah. And Corey, fuck's sake. Sorry.
But no,
Cat
I agree
issues.
with you about their weak. The categories are
Yeah.
really strong.
Like I think even like Sugarcane might be my favorite. It's tied with No Other Land just because they're both so impactful, and it's really hard to say anything bad about these movies.
Right.
Like, and then I saw Black Box Diaries, which is about a sexual assault, and it was fine. There were some interesting moments, but I definitely wanted more out of it. Like I don't. It just yeah.
Yeah. No. There have been other years where we've seen them all and been like, "Oh my god, that one's the best one. That one's the best
Yeah.
one."
Wow.
Think
This
about
is
it. Think about Icarus was one year.
yes.
Remember
Even
that?
last year, 20 days in
Mariupol, yeah.
Mariupol, like just blew me out of the water.
Yeah, like compare 20 Days in Mariupol to Porcelain War.
Which
Porcelain
is
War
the
is
only one I haven't
fine.
seen.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you that it's fine. If it follows this couple who are living in Ukraine, and they make little porcelain figurines, kind of to just pass the time. It just shows more of the war going on over there. But 20 Days in Mariupol was like action packed and like
Stressful,
and you really see the front lines of what's going on. This one is more like a few yards back, and they are still in danger. They still have to run for sirens and bombs, but it's really slow and laid back. I wasn't crazy about it.
And did you see soundtrack to a coup d'etat?
I didn't. Nope.
Okay, well, you're not missing much. It is overly long, confusing, frustrating to get through. It is about the Cold War and how jazz works into the Cold War and how they used. And then there's like, I got honestly like my brain was not braining for enough for this movie. I think there's smarter people out there who would probably really get a lot out of this, especially if they like jazz. But it just was not for me. I really liked I'm Still Here. That is the foreign language film starring Fernando Torres. Yeah. She was nominated for Best Actress, and this was also nominated for Best Picture. When did you see it?
I saw it just on February 18th, so a couple weeks ago.
Okay. So I was February 24th. So this is another real pretty tense movie. The thing I really admired about this film is it's the way it builds its characters, the way it builds the family. There are like it's a big family. There's daughters and friends and but it works. It is like there's a ton of characters, but you are so steeped in what is going on that it works. And there may even be like a little time jump at one point, and I wasn't confused at all. I was like, oh, okay, like I know these kids, I know these people. Like I'm not the writing and the direction was strong in this movie.
And this feels more like a documentary than any of the like some of the others. Like this just feels so real. It's like this has to be a true story.
And I think it really put into perspective for me the better than any movie ever has of what it's like, what it would be like to live under a dictatorship. And I guess I didn't know like well enough what that would be like, and to just have you could have your freedom taken away at any time, and even like people can just walk into your house and say, hey, you have to do whatever I say, we're taking your husband away. It's emotional but not overly emotional. It's tense but like not too tense. It is a very well done biopic, docudrama, or whatever you want to say. It is I really enjoyed it. I'm 4.5 stars. It could crack my top 10. I mean, probably not, but like I was really impressed by this movie.
Good.
And I think especially after going through, like, we'd had so many like, oh, this is an Oscar movie, and then when I saw this, I was just really impressed. So
and Fernanda Torres from this is totally deserving of all the praise she's gotten. She is
for sure
fantastic here.
For sure. I texted you and said, why is everyone in Brazil just amazingly attractive? Like everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
And then I don't.
Needle.
Yes, the girl with the needle. Do you want to talk about it first, or
sure? Yeah.
Okay.
So the girl with the needle is the fifth nominee for best international feature. It's actually a movie, so you can watch it on Mubi. And I forgot its country of origin. Can you check that for me?
Yes.
Is it Dutch?
Okay. It is just after World War I in. Just keep talking and I'll get it.
Okay, yeah. It's Dutch, Netherlands, something like that. It's in black and white, and it is a
Danish, yeah. Denmark, Danish. Poland, Sweden, yeah.
Okay. And we follow this woman who is lower class, or lower class structure. Like, she's very poor. Her husband went to fight in the war. He's missing. She thinks he's dead. He probably is dead, but she can't get his war bond or whatever released until they have a body or proof. And it's like this is an endurance test movie where when the like some bad shit happens, you're like, whew, I'm glad that's over with. But then just get ready because even more worse shit is coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's depraved. Like it shows how depraved humans can be that are put in these situations. Also, maybe that's how it was more so back then. Like if the same thing played out these days, healthcare, medicine, stuff's better now. Education, we know things that we didn't back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a brutal watch. One that I can't see myself watching again unless I like met someone who's like, show me a really messed up movie. And I'd say, all right, let's watch this.
And it is based on not a total not a true story, but like true events, like and stories that so like I think it was a bunch of stories put together, and I do think it was well put together. It showed us a lot like about World War I and even if it wasn't true, you kind of thought like, oh well, that person might have done that, or that how would that person have reacted in that situation, or there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie. But it is one of the more bleak and depressing movies I've seen, right up there with like a more reminded me a lot of Beanpole that I think we watched. No? Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, so it's just after the World War I, and you can expect it's just and it's in black and white, which gives it that that look of kind of darkness,
and even like the actress and actors have very like World War I faces, like what I mean, like life was harder back then, so they weren't as pretty,
they're hardened. The main girl barely smiles. I think she does once or twice in the movie, and then I kept wondering like, what is the message of this movie? Is it, well, what are they trying to say? Why are we going through all this? And then the message really hit me near the end, and it really affected me. I gotta say, I'll never watch it again, but it's a 4-star movie. For me, like it's hard for me to go any lower on that because it's so well done, and the movie and the story is very impactful. So I can see why it was nominated. But
same.
Who would I recommend this to? Cinephiles, people who like dark, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually both liked it. Like he said it's a dark comedy, and he said there was times when he like had to laugh because it was just so dark.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can see that, but I also didn't laugh at all.
It's just brutal, and throughout the movie I'm watching it thinking, oh, I'm so glad I don't live back in those days.
Yeah.
And that I'm not female back in those days.
Yes, exactly. Wallace and Gromit was just fine. I mean, I think I don't think it should have been nominated. Really,
No
I think the other one should have been the one that got nominated for a Golden Globe but didn't get here. I mean, I'd almost rather Moana 2 get nominated than Wallace and Gromit. This was not their best venture.
Yeah.
And then the only other movie that I wanted to talk about, because we didn't talk about it last time because I had seen it yet, is Companion. And you wanted me to watch this, and I watched it after we recorded that night. So
that's right.
I've been kind of sitting on it. It's funny because they really love it over at the Film Vault, the other podcast I listen to.
Really?
And yes, they really like it. And yeah, and they have so there is a reveal in this movie, but it is given away in the trailer and pretty much on the poster.
Yep. That
she is an AI robot. But you would not know that if you hadn't seen the trailer. If you had just walked into it, that I think is played in the movie to be a twist. And imagine not knowing that, and you just sat down and watched it for the first time, and it would probably bump this movie up a whole half a star, like just for that twist.
And there are some hints to it, like when they first arrive at the house, one of the girls says like, "Oh, she makes me feel less of a person." Like, there's some things that are
Yeah,
hinted at that could be taken two ways.
there
But
are.
I agree. I agree.
Even some of the ways he treats her. Like, because I actually, when I was watching it, I
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, she carried the bag. She's like carrying all the bags in.
Yeah, exactly. And I watched this and I wasn't sure that she was AI. I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought I had seen that in the trailers. And then there were things that brought it out. But this is a wickedly smart horror thriller with another terrific performance from my girl, Sophie Thatcher. I love her so fucking much. Ant and I now have a bet that he thinks Anya Taylor-Joy will win an Oscar before Sophie Thatcher. I think Thatcher just needs one good role and she's got that Oscar. But we'll see. We'll see.
Did we decide to go with be nominated to make
nominated?
It easier?
Yes, nominated. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you are insane to take that.
It would be funny if they both.
Yeah, that would be funny.
The first year they both get nominated next year or something.
Yeah, not that she's I don't think she's a bad actress. I just think, you might be right though. Like, her career path has been like, she could now say, okay, now I'm going to do like a serious, intense drama and pivot.
Yeah, but who knows? Like, but anyways, I would recommend Companion to people even who don't really love horror, because I think it is just very smart.
Yeah, it's thriller. It's not horror really.
Yeah, there's no like jump scares or anything, but there is like some more like, not, I wouldn't say gore, but more like intense moments, and there is blood and there is some moments where but very good scenes. I exactly. I'm at 4 stars with it. People are still raving about Sophie Thatcher's performance, and I think people are trying to push, like, say like, well, The Substance got Oscar nominations, so what horror movie's going to get it this year? And I think those are going to be pretty few and far between, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, but all power to you, but good luck.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah. Well,
and it's only like an hour and 35 minutes, so you're in and out quick.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. Afterward, I thought, man, I need to go back and watch Ex Machina again.
Yes,
they're different movies, but similar themes.
And I think this movie is set in like a near future, and so there is enough interesting like futuristic stuff, and you're living in this world, and you're kind of, it's interesting. So, and I do think there are other twists in this movie that I think people will get a lot out of. So that's Companion, and I think that's all I've got. What about, you think, is that it?
Yeah, I think so, man. I wanted to mention that I went to see Lost Highway, a David Lynch movie, since my local art house was showing it due to his passing. I did not finish it. I just can't get into it. Too slow.
I feel like that will be the same for me, but I am going to get into a bunch of David Lynch now that we are away from the Oscars. I've seen a few of his films, and they are not my style, but I am thankful that we have that man and what he did for cinema. So
yep.
So anyways, thank you everyone for listening. Again, this was just a short episode to kind of catch everyone up on what we have seen, because next week we are going to do our best of 2024. That's going to be a little bit of a bigger episode. We also may have a guest on as well, have a third guest, and we will let you know in advance when that episode will be going live. It's going to be an exciting one, so might have to have a beer with you, Ant.
Yeah, man. As long as I don't have to get up at 6:15, I will have a beer.
All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening. We will see you soon.
Yep.
And
talk to you next week.
No, don't hit the intro, Mitch. You want to hit the outro.
Hollywood Persona Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Hollywood Persona. Feel free to email the show at thehollywoodpersona@gmail.com and make sure to rate, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening to our show on. It's the little things that help. Thank you.
And you little shithead, you're staying here.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was funny.